42. 41.
40.
39.
Number 1.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33. 32.
31.
30. 29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
21.
20.
19.
18.
17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
9. 8.
7. 6. 5.
4.
3.5.
3.
2.
1.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a show out of my hat? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Hi, and welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show at Minty Fresh on life. And yet we do some politics, especially around primary time when we got some heated races going on here, not only in the Democrat primary here in Indianapolis, but over throughout the state. There's several contested primaries, and we have 4 guests tonight. I do see 3 of them backstage that are going to be coming on. They're candidates, and they are in highly contested races. And one, Catherine Callahan, is at some pretty good drama today. So we're going to find out about that. But we have one U.S. Congresswoman that's running, Sarah Jency Brown, running for the 6th district. We have Richard Bagsby. He's running up in Lafayette for the Senate. He's got a tough one coming, and he's putting the work in. Catherine Callahan, as I mentioned, she's running up in the Anderson area for the Senate up there. And then we have a Sheriff, John Jester. I see he's tuned in there. He's going to be coming in. He's running for sheriff in Greenfield, and he's got a highly contested thing. So we have some questions tonight. We're going to try to do the same questions for each of our candidates. We're going to do like a speed dating thing here. We're going to get through them as quick as we can and give you the information that you might want to know about it. And remember, one of the things that is very important to me is that you can get a hold of your person. So these folks have all responded to me very quickly. In fact, John Jester one of his people reached out, and he wanted to be on the show. Others that I've asked, the other 3 I've asked, and they were quite quick to get in there. Now, if there are some other candidates, we want to get everybody in here. I will do a special edition on Thursday, and I think I already have 2 lined up for Thursday. If we can get a couple more, I'll do a special edition on Thursday, because hey, it's a week away. It's a week away from the primary, and I know everybody's getting excited about things. So we're going to get into it. So we have, let's see. I think Sarah, I lost her on the thing, but I'm going to go ahead and bring Brad on. Brad, how's it going?
Oh, great, John.
Let me get this background switched up here a little bit. So,
okay, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. So, and we got Lucy. She's Lucy's always wrangling up some kids, and she's a little late.
Wait, who?
Lucy, you got a delay going there?
No, I couldn't. Now I can hear you fine.
Okay.
I think you were talking like it was just.
Well, it's like, I didn't have a green screen, so I had to kick everybody out of the studio and fix it. It's always fun when you're the producer and everything else.
So, I have a newfound respect for you from doing the show on Sunday.
Yeah,
it is nuts.
So speaking of that, Brad, I think we're going to try to do. I hate begging for money for things, but I want to upgrade our StreamYard, and that's going to cost a little bit more money. So let me see if I can find out here. So we're going to ask. I mean, we don't have commercials on here. I don't charge anybody for anything. You don't get paid. I don't get paid.
I was going to say, am I going to have to take a pay cut?
But StreamYard costs around $458 for what I have now per year. To upgrade, it's about $827 and like 62 cents. So what I want to do is I want to try to raise some money to pay for the upgrade. And that means we can stream up to 8 places. I can have more people back. Right now, I have Witty's show, your show, my show. Only 2 can get access to backstage. So we're trying to upgrade our process here. So I'm going to put up our Venmo. So if you want to give us some money for that, I'd appreciate it. I'm already donating $31 of my chicken egg profits. So I get paid through Venmo for selling chicken eggs. And I've already put my $31.
Is that code for drugs?
No, that's for real chicken eggs.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good one. Yeah, it's not listed in Pizzagate. We're not ordering armoires or whatever the hell they were ordering. So no, it's not that. And then if you want Cash App, there you go. Let's see if we can't raise a few dollars to upgrade to our StreamYard so that we can do better on things. But hey, we got a great show coming up, and I see we have all of the people backstage for the show. So we're waiting on Lucy, but I think we can get going. You saw the what we were talking about. So I'll let you take the first 2, and I'll take the last
First 2 questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and bring on Sarah. Let's see Sarah, how are you?
I am so good. Once again, having more fun than should be legal. This campaign has been a blast. Finally, a good use for my energy.
It is. And I know what you're going through, and it there's deadlines. it goes quickly, and next thing you know, it'll be next week, and you'll be sitting back and having a root beer going, wow, we ran a great campaign, because I think you've run a very good campaign. I'm trying to figure.
Sarah, when you are out and talking to voters, what does come up the most? Couple one or things. Yeah, a couple things. If it's not
what comes up the most is, I'm so glad there's someone on the ballot besides Jefferson Shreve.
Wow.
So what do you stand for? Because he stands for nothing.
Yeah, he's I think I posted today that Jefferson Shreve is as wishy-washy as Charlie Brown. It got a few likes. So
well, he's doing the best he can, but that's not good enough. So we've been talking a lot about kids. The health crisis that children are facing today is a super big concern for so many people. We've talked about this before. 50% of American kids have a chronic disease, are overweight, or are being medicated just to sit still in school. And this is not okay. And a lot of this comes down from government incentivizing bad health.
Well, I do think that marching bands, and especially the drums, especially for Westfield, I think they have a really good marching band program that gets kids active, and I think that should be commended.
Brad, you're always trying to sneak something in there.
Anything to get kids
I don't know what-
active.
Exactly.
Kids would naturally be active if we didn't hand them screens to entertain them all the time and make them sit still in school hours and hours a day. Kids would love to be outside climbing trees.
Oh, most definitely. Like, I think most adults would too if their bodies didn't hurt so much in doing it. But so yeah, what kind of solutions then would you impose? Would you suggest getting rid of the screens and the tablets and whatnot within the schools?
Well, a lot of this is up to parents, and a lot of parents are just trying to survive. The cost of living is so high that, so many parents are working 2 or 3 jobs just trying to get by, depending on the school system to take care of their kids, expecting the school system to do a good job. And teachers are overwhelmed. They don't have the resources they need in the classrooms. Kids are just going berserk because everything is so boring, and kids aren't designed to sit still for so long. And the whole education system revolves around one adult trying to keep control of 30 kids within 4 walls and trying to get them all to sit still and listen and behave. Whoever came up with this idea didn't understand the nature of children. I think
what
we
could
need
go
to do
wrong?
a whole lot more than take away the screens.
One of the things that I think about when I think about adults managing kids, I think the biggest thing that adults forget is what it's like to be a kid. And Sarah, I was one of those kids that I have to apologize to everyone. I mean, people say, I wish I had your energy. I said, well, you didn't wish that 50 years ago because, my mom used to time me everywhere just to run the energy off of me, I understand it. I'm a big believer in running a kid till they fall down. Just run them, and challenge them. And I'm still a pretty big kid, and I think that's why kids like to be around me because they think, oh, this guy's an adult, but boy, he's a pretty big kid. And there's one thing that's difficult about punishing an adult. It's their size. So you can get a kid pretty easy. But anyway, so we got some other ones here, and if anybody's got anything in a question in there, we'll have time for that. But we're, like I said, we're going to try to do the same questions for everybody, but we're not going to try to just stick to that. So when you win in November, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Everybody keeps asking me this, and my answer is always the same. When I get to Washington, D.C., I'm going to put a sign on the door of my office that says, Hoosiers welcome. All others, including lobbyists, must be represented by a voter from Indiana's 6th district. One of the biggest problems at the core of the failure happening in Congress is that congressmen and women are not representing their constituents. They're listening to and romancing lobbyists. And what are the lobbyists doing? They're representing big, giant, powerful corporations who are asking for government subsidies. And that's not going to happen in my office. That's not going to happen on my watch.
I agree with that. Now, full disclosure, you are 2 blocks away from my house, your district. But part of Mars Hill, I live in Mars Hill, part of Mars Hill is in your district. And I have been rabid like a dog about the Mars Hill floodplain. I've hounded Jefferson about this issue, and he's just non-responsive. Andre Carson did get some money for design, but I cannot get any transparency from the city about what they've done. It's just been the total runaround of, you're not good enough to see our plan. I don't get that idea that you're that kind of person. Like every time I've even texted you or called you, and I know you can't do that with every constituent when you have that many, but you've been very responsive. And as I said at the start of the show, responsiveness, it should be someone's top, attribute of our elected officials. If you can't get a hold of them, what good is it?
Well, anyway. I have 15 children, so I am really good at multitasking. I'm really good at making sure everybody stays alive, gets fed, gets an education, and gets launched when they need to. And, once you've raised 15 kids and launched 11, everything else seems easy. And, you mentioned earlier as a child, you had all that energy and, it was kind of destructive. I feel the same way. I have so much energy and I found that this campaign and being presented with so many questions from people in the community who want answers, it's so exciting to be able to listen to these questions like, what are we going to do about this floodplain? Why do these sidewalks go nowhere? Why are my children sick? Why are we growing all these corn and these soybeans when we don't need them? What is the purpose of GMOs? Why are we still using Roundup when it's poisoning our kids? And I'm getting all of these questions, and I love getting down to the root of problems and working at it until we find a solution. And I love listening to people, and I love collaborating with people, and I love finding common ground. A lot of people have noticed that the issues that I'm really, really rooting for, they're not the Republican issues. They're not the Democrat issues. These are the human issues. Strong, healthy kids.
I was going to ask you,
fixing a broken education system.
Yeah, are you sure you're a Republican? Because a lot of what you just said was very
well,
collaborating, and I'm not used to hearing that from the rate.
Be careful,
Yeah,
Sarah.
you
You're
know
going to get a
what?
Democrat to vote for you.
You know,
No, we got a great
I
lineup of
grew
people that
up-
I would actually vote for today. So it's just weird.
Listen, I grew up with Ronald Reagan being the first president that I have a memory of. And I remember him being patriotic. He just had American spirit. And I don't think I'm going to be the Republican that anybody finds typical because, well, you listen to me. I'm running as a Republican because the foundation of the Republican Party is family values, constitutional values, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, small government. Now, the Republican Party is not abiding by these things. Indiana has been run by the Republican Party for a long, long time now. It's being run into the ground. Kids aren't reading, people are sick. Most people, more than half of people in Indiana are overweight, not healthy, and we live in food deserts. So I believe in the spirit of the Republican Party, but I'm here to fix it, get it back on track, and get it back to those Ronald Reagan type of roots. Because right now, most people in politics are just romancing the lobbyists and looking for power, wealth, and recognition. And if I win, which I think there's a 50-50 chance I could. Everybody I talk to is excited that I'm running. But if I win, I think I'm going to do it on the smallest budget since 1800. But I've got so many people who are so excited that, if you're one of those people who say, I don't vote for the party, I vote for the person, I'm your girl. I'm your
That's
girl.
right. Okay, we got to move on, but I want to get one question in. This is from Pep E. Frog. How do you feel about politicians and their families should be banned from trading stocks? So,
Okay, so there is a bill being presented to Congress right now. It's called the Restore Trust in Congress Act. It has over 100 co-signers. Jefferson Shreve is not one of them. And it has a discharge petition attached to it, which Jefferson Shreve has not signed as of last week when someone I was interviewing with checked on it. It would end individual stock trading by the congressman, by his immediate family, and by the people who handle his stocks. That's a good step in the right direction. I think we need to do more. A lot of people are getting super rich. And I recently heard that Jefferson Shreve has a new nickname, Jefferson Pelosi. So I had to laugh at that. He might just be really lucky, though. He might just be.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I don't know the facts about
well, hey, the
it.
good news about
the
good news about having all that money is you don't need the lobbyists, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
trust
can
me,
just
I'm a
sit
rich
back
guy.
And
That's
sit back and
Okay.
relax.
Okay. So Sarah, and we're going to keep up with our schedule here. Man, we could talk to you the whole time, and I'm sure we can about the next three candidates. I'm sure of it. And we're going to wish you good luck. And I will see you tomorrow night. You have a little bit of a fundraiser down at the Aberdeen. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Aberdeen?
the
That's
Aberdeen
my old
Barn,
neighborhood.
the Duke family is putting on a fundraiser. It's Faith, Freedom, and the Fight. And I would love for anyone who's interested to get in touch with me. VoteSarahBrown.com. And please donate money to Mouthwash so they can get their platform fixed. All
Yeah,
right?
because old Johnny needs the help.
Yeah. I don't need your help. I mean, Jefferson Shreve has all the money anyway, but I have lots and lots of people. So send your money to Mouthwash.
I appreciate you're just so gracious. They will not know what to do with your ADHD out there in Washington. They will not do it. So
they don't.
For those that need to know, if you've ever familiar with the Mallow Run Winery, it's basically across the street from the Mallow Run Winery on Whiteland Road. My old stomping grounds. I lived about a mile away from there for about 20 years in Morgan County. So I know it well. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow night. And everybody vote for Sarah. I mean, she's just a breath of fresh air. So Sarah, we thank you for coming on. We're going to be on to our next guest. Hopefully Lucy will get in here. But as I say, our questions are limited. So, if we have more people on here, just go slower. So you did a great job.
All right.
And
thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. All right, Brad, what do you think?
I like her. Well, I mean, she's like one of the only guests that I've never Irish goodbyed after the show.
Well,
you guys
sometimes they
you
don't
guys
get-
were like making fun of me about that because like I was like I stuck around tonight. It wasn't
yeah,
like it's well, and there's a couple. Again, it's when you vote for the person, not the platform. Good
well,
people
and
can
I
get
think
elected.
a lot of this is what I've noticed. You know, I've been in politics a little bit. I've run for a couple offices. I'm pretty much just riding off in the sunset. I enjoy helping other people. We got some stuff coming up that's going to be interesting. But I look at how a person is going to be, if they're running for an office, I look at how they're going to do that job and how they're going to be able to face the people they're going to have to face. And are they going to be able to hold their ground? And, you know, Sarah seems like somebody that checks all those boxes. First time I met her, I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, sometimes that first impression can get you there. So I
Well,
think
and that's
that,
every time that I talked to her though. This is like that was only the second time, but every time it's more of the same authenticity. You know, it's just a nice change of pace.
Yep. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the next one. We're going to try to keep on schedule here. We got John Chester. He's running for sheriff in, I think, Greenfield. That's Hancock County. He's got a tested primary, and I've not. I've emailed him back and forth. He was very responsive. You know, that's one of my criteria. Very responsive, and he is. So I think he's been like the chief of police out there. I think he's in a highly contested races. So let's bring John on here. Mr. Jester, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I got a campaign slogan for you, and you may have already heard it.
Let's hear it.
You're familiar with the movie Top Gun, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And one of the planes was Jester, right? Wasn't that the squadron leader? So I'm saying we need Jester as our Top Gun in Hendricks.
I like it.
I mean,
I like it.
So
I need Sarah's energy.
Yeah, yeah, we all do. Well, I have it, but I just don't make it go in the direction like she does. She's good at directing. My energy just flies around.
Wow.
So anyway, I think most of our viewers knew Sarah, and Brad jumped right into their questions, but give us about 30 seconds of your background.
Well, I've been a policeman since 1990. Spent the majority of my career at Greenfield PD. My last 8 years there, I was the chief of police. I retired in 2016 and went to work for Community Health Network and developed their police department there. I've been there since 2016. We launched our department in 2021. Been there ever since.
All right, great. That was good. It was 30 seconds and everything because we're on a schedule. So, Brad, you got a question?
So, yeah, Mr. Jester, when I'm out talking to your voters, which issue do you hear about the most? What couple things come up?
Actually, I've been hearing about two pretty consistently. First and foremost is obviously drugs and the use of drugs around our community. Second, we're next door to Marion County. As bad as I hate to say this, a lot of our residents are hoping that we can keep the crime in Marion County from not spilling over into Hancock County. The murder rate in Marion County is huge. I do think it's came down the last year or so, but it's something that all of our citizens are looking at, especially the ones that live on the west side of the county.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what kind of, especially for the drugs? I mean, I feel like that's been around since I've been born, or before I've been born. So, how are you kind of expecting to fight it?
Actually, what I'd like to do is get with some of the smaller communities and smaller agencies and develop a task force. We've got a joint SWAT team out here. I'd like to see us do a joint drug task force out here to work with the enforcement of the current laws on the books. But I would also like to expand that a little bit. We have a great DARE program in our schools that teaches the kids about drugs and the use of drugs. I would like to have these officers selected to enforce drugs, get out and work with our DARE officers and expand that education. Currently they're in the elementary schools. I'd like to see that expanded. I'd like to see them go to different groups and talk about the ill effects of drugs. I think we all know it, but I think sometimes that point needs to be driven home.
Is marijuana still a target, I guess?
Marijuana is still on the books. I'm looking more at the heroin and the methamphetamines. Heroin's a huge problem. Always been a huge problem. It's going to continue to be a problem. And I think, we need to educate people on reasons not to do it, how to get off of it if they are on it, and enforce those laws if we have to.
Correct
Last
me
thing
on
I want
this.
to do is see another person die.
Yeah.
Correct me on this. You were saying some spillover from Marion County. I think you mentioned that. I live in Mars Hill on the west side, and our drug situation. I've been here about 11 years. We started an art center, a community center, and then we moved here about 7-8 years ago. I've noticed that it's gotten better, but we've had some major busts here from federal levels to not. Now it seems like, I would say it's probably a third of what it used to be, or maybe even less. But how much spillover do you see for Marion County to be a problem in Hancock
I think
County?
on the west side of our county, it's pretty considerable. A lot of the arrests that we make on the west side of the county are residents of the Marion County area. West side of our county are from Marion County. I'm not saying we don't have our citizens out here committing crimes, because we do. I'm not naive, but I think a lot of that west side of the county is carryover.
Yep. Okay. So, what would be, you win this, and I don't know if if the Democrats are strong at where you are or not strong. It seems like it's a Republican primary to win, then you have a better chance in November. And just from what I just said, do you want Hancock County to look like Marion County? Vote Democrat. So, I mean, that's, I'm sorry, but that's I know, Brad, you don't live where I live, baby. So,
no.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, Brad, I'd like to keep us Republican.
No, yeah, I'm not,
Hey, Brad's for law and order. He's not one of them Democrats.
There you go.
Oh, of course.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
So what's the first thing you're going to do in November when you win?
First thing I'm going to do when I win is I'm going to get with our deputies from the bottom deputy up and see what's working, what's not working, what we need to change. Those guys and gals are the boots on the ground. They're out there every day, every night. They're the ones dealing with people. They know what we need to expand on. They know what we need to change. They know what's working and what we need to keep going with. So if I can get those deputies to buy in on how to make it better, that will carry over and the citizens will see that.
Yeah, that's the old Brubaker movie that I think it was 72 with Robert Redford, as he went in as an inmate into the prison, and then to see what it was really like to, and then it just says, ta-da, I'm the new warden. So
Absolutely.
But that is a very good way to find out what's up with things. Okay, last question for you. What's a fun fact about you that folks may not know about you?
I am a huge hockey fan, and right now is the best time to watch hockey. Been watching it all evening because it's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, that you surprised me. I would ask. I would be surprised if you didn't own a Harley. Is that a true or false statement?
I do not own a Harley now. I did own a Harley, but now I drive a slingshot.
John, do you ever get up to any of the Fishers games? Like
oh yeah,
Indy
all the time.
Like, I missed it when it was at the State Fairgrounds, though, to be honest.
The old Coliseum was fun.
Oh yeah, that place is
it
great.
was.
But yeah, hockey, there's nothing like live hockey. It's just
absolutely.
And yeah, you're right. This is great playoffs.
So okay, let me check and see if there was any questions from the. Look, here you go. I don't know if you're a Ducks fan or not. That's your.
I like Vegas.
That's your guy there. I think he's.
That's Larry Silver.
He said, "Hey, get John Jester on," and he was right.
He did, and I appreciate you guys getting me on.
Well, hey, we
thank you for coming.
Coming on here. So, hey, thanks for coming on, and good luck next Tuesday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your guys' time.
All right, thank you. All right, hey Brad, this is going swimmingly well. We're staying on schedule, pretty close.
Well, I mean, I think it's your prep and giving us the questions beforehand. Yeah. This
Yeah, that's how
we got our marching orders and our warnings.
Full disclosure, if I have time to, I mean, folks, I'm a part-time journalist. If you want to call me a journalist, I'm a bricklayer by day and chicken farmer by the other part of the day, and all other stuff. But I love doing these shows. I wish
you do
I had
fantastic
more time.
work, John. Thank you for including me.
Coming from a colleague, from one of my peers. And I'm really liking your show, how it's getting moving along. But,
it's just fun to have somebody to argue with now with Drew. I mean, like I felt like a lunatic. Like Whitty is a lunatic, so he can talk to himself and nobody really pays any attention to it. But like doing it on your own is kind of like, oh, okay, that's.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather have friends too. I could go like that. So now we have Richard Bagsby coming up. He is running up in Lafayette. And he's running. This is an action-packed show. We have such quality candidates coming on. Richard Bagsby, I met him several years ago. Always a quality guy. Another guy, I call him, he answers the phone. And I know that most, that it's tough to call and answer all those phone calls and all that. But might say, if you can't get a hold of them, what good are they? Eventually, they can get back with you or see you. So let's go ahead and bring on Richard. Mr. Bagsby, how are you doing? You got the mute. You got the mute on there.
Hey, Richard. Hey.
All right, there we go.
He's being a good backstage by muting his thing.
Hey,
he follows directions well too, folks. So, so
Can
Richard,
you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You've been on the show
Okay.
previously, but give us the 30-second introduction.
Richard Bagsby, running for Indiana Senate District 22. I live here in Monitor, Indiana, right outside of Lafayette. My wife, we have 8 children, 6 grandchildren. We raise chickens as well and goats. We used to raise cattle, kind of do that up about a year and a half ago. I am in the construction industry as construction managing superintendent in the residential market and also a professional realtor. I've been running this race for about a year and a half. Had a full day today with campaigning at all the early vote sites. And then I had a town hall from 6 to 8. And now I'm here with you guys. So
you could use some of my ADHD at this point. I'm certain of that.
Richard, you hold town halls. That's unheard of. Like,
yeah, you've had Richard. How many you had? Like
That's,
7?
yeah.
Haven't you had like 7 or 9 of them or something like that? How many have you had so far in the last couple of weeks?
I've had 17 town halls altogether.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's
okay.
somebody that puts in the work, folks, right there. So Brad, what do you got?
Yeah, so during these town halls, then, like when you get to talk to the voters, what is being brought up to you? What are the couple things that you hear about from them?
So a lot of things. These are open-aired questions, so there are no cards that they have to write down their question. They just raise their hand. I pick them, and they ask me whatever they want to ask me. Personal questions, what my favorite color is, food, whatever the case may be. Whatever's in their heart, I answer or respond. I even give opinions. What type of politician does that? I built this campaign based on transparency, and that's what I give them, the raw nature of who I am. And so, but the biggest question outside of why I should vote for you, the biggest is affordability. So that's if I was to have number 1, number 2 question be affordability.
Is it in everything in general, or like homes, or groceries, or just is it just freaking everything at this point?
It's really just wrapped up into everything. And once I get that question, it opens up Pandora's box, and we sit there for about, I don't know, a long time discussing affordability. But the main thing, honestly, is property taxes, because the makeup of my district is we have about 65 to 70% of the individuals, constituents, are 56 and over. And so we're talking about people that are nearing retirement or all the way retired. And so when they see their property tax go up and their assessment values go up, and they haven't remodeled or anything, that's a big issue in this area. I think that's a big issue in other areas as well. But doing so many town halls, that's the number one. The second big question is utility rates. And that's why the affordability is all-encompassing topic and all-encompassing question.
Well, and so what kind of solutions, I guess, like as you guys brainstorm and as you guys discuss these issues, especially like for utility rates and talking about energy costs, where do we go from here, I guess?
Well, I think Braun has made some good steps as far as replacing some of the IURC members of the board, but I think I'd take it a step further and There was a bill called SB 9 in 2023. My opponent actually voted for that. And basically, it would transfer costs and expenses of mandatory federal projects or expansion projects that are put on the utility companies. They can transfer that cost to the ratepayers as a rate increase. And so that was actually established in law in 2023, like I said, SB 9. These are some of the things we need to look at to repeal, because there's no, they don't have to go through the full approval process to transfer those expenses. And anytime you allow the fox to guard the hen house, you're going to have some hens come up missing. And that's what we've been seeing as of late. Now, I'm hoping that some of these members of the IURC, the new members, I hope they work out. But and
that's it too. Is like we always hope that
start out with hope,
but it's like just I don't want to wait to be proven wrong about these issues.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't it's usually a 4-year wait.
Yeah.
And you don't want career politicians taking up some of these mantles because they are already used to being wined and dined by lobbyist groups. But honestly,
how long has your opponent been in office?
28 years. And so maybe he's trying to do something about it now. But the thing is, the reality of the situation is that we've been doing this for a very long time. And to think that change can happen after doing the same thing over and over again, I mean, that's insanity. Yeah. Literally insanity.
Yeah. So,
so I always say that I will hold the monopoly companies accountable, or energy companies accountable. And the way that I would like to see it done is to really vet the members to make sure that they are ratepayer friendly, and also audit the monopoly companies. I mean, we have audit powers. We should use them, not just for daycares. Minnesota was a daycare.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from the top down, not just daycare stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a problem. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think that we're finding a lot of this, that it's called the government trough, and people lie, and these people just look for the next thing to line up and feed on the trough. I started a sewer utility from scratch. I sat in front of the IURC for a day. It's quite expensive, quite interesting. I was approved for my project. My other experiences with Bargersville Water, I put in about a $200,000 water line and gave it to them. I received no royalties, no anything. I wonder if Bargersville gave those folks in that subdivision a break. So and that's called a system development fee. Whenever you have to improve your facility, you can get a system. That's where they get their money, their increases from the system development fees. It's not a lot of times the rate increases that we have this. So I do applaud you for those, for digging into that, because it's not sexy. I mean, people's eyes glaze over when you tell them about these things. So what's going to be the first thing you do when you win in November? I mean, we're going to assume you steamroller in this primary. You're going to win in November. You're in orientation day on November 18th or whatever day they have orientation day. I know you can't do anything that day, but what's the first thing you're going to do?
I get it. Very first thing I'm going to do is swear in, give whoever is swearing me in a little eye wink, like I didn't think I'd make it, but here I am. Outside of that, I really want to work on a constitutional amendment for term limits. That's a real thing. There's 3 big things that I want to work on. That's number 1. Number 2 is the elimination of homestead property tax, starting with seniors. Number 3.
I'm a senior. By the way, you want my vote for sure, because that's one of the things I consider. And I'm probably going to be moving to Florida, and they're the same fight in Florida with property. I hear the same things there. I mean, it's when you're paying $1,000 a month in property tax for your house, that's like having a mortgage with the government.
Yeah, but
I just don't think it's right.
I don't think, I know it's not right, but my opinion on it is I'd rather be taxed for what I spend, not what I own.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
Especially
do a
when it comes
10%
to
tax. Let's go. Just make it 10%.
whatever you want to do. However you want to do it. If you want to tax me, that's fine. Tax me, but don't tax me out of my house. That's where my kids are. That's where my family. That's what I fight for every single day. So, and then it's a personal thing for me as well. My grandmother was a retired postal worker, and she lost her house of 30 years, had it paid off. Assessment values kept going up and up, and she was on a fixed income. And now we don't have that house in the family anymore. And it's all due to the fact that a senior, a person who is retired, a person that has a fixed income, they still have to worry about losing their home. And that's just not right. I don't care whether you're Republican, Democrat, I don't care the whole that is just not right at all. And the third thing that's really big for me, it's a mix between the two, and we kind of touched on it, but holding these energy companies accountable. There's no way that a private investment company who holds all the energy that sells it to these monopoly companies should have that much power, that much influence over our energy rates, even with a regulatory body, especially if you have to switch members of the regulatory body. That means that if you have to switch members out, that means that those members were, who knows what they were doing, who knows how much money they were making in that whole deal. But you have a for-profit organization, and they're going to count their bean counters, right? They want to profit, and what they're profiting on are people who can't afford their utility bills right now.
Yeah, it is definitely.
And so,
energy,
in order
energy,
to really,
in order to
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we got a little bit of a delay that's sort of causing a problem. That's what you like about remote things like this. Energy drives the inflation. When energy goes up,
it does.
I just got a fuel surplus for my materials being delivered, and I'm sure you get this too for my masonry materials from a company. And they've already have a fuel surcharge on there. Now they're doing an extra one.
Already, that's right.
It drives it, and
it
if
does.
we can get energy costs down, we can, and that's a supply and demand. But these utilities are monopolies, and that's all okay. So we're going to move on to the last thing. It's sort of what's the fun fact about you that folks may not know about you?
I'm big on cattle ranching. That's what I want to retire on. I am really knowledgeable about bovine and working horses. So
that is awesome.
That's what I grew up doing.
No, I watched there was a documentary about Nolan Ryan. Like that's what he did in the off season. And I'm like,
yep.
He's
Ronald
like the
Reagan,
coolest freaking dude. Yeah.
Ronald Reagan,
a rancher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
I ran cows for like 20 years down in Morgan County. I sold my last 6 to Norm Duke. Down there where we're having
I didn't know
the thing. So yeah, it was always fun trying to get my kids to go bale hay. Yeah. We'd put up about 1,200 bales a year, and yeah, it's always fun. They loved it when I got that conveyor.
I've picked many a ticks off my hide.
I like it when you pick up the bale of hay and there's a snake bailed in it.
Oh yeah, that too.
That is always fun. It's still alive
right now.
It's still alive.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a great fun fact. Richard, I am impressed, Brad. Now, if we had Lucy here, we would not be on time. I'm sorry, but and this is probably going to get me in trouble with the ladies in our audience.
Taxation
is a woman,
though. We got to say taxation is theft.
Taxation is theft and all this. This is my theory, Richard, before you go, is, when we're single guys, we're on time to a lot of places we go. We get married like 15 minutes late, and then you add 10 minutes for each kid you have. So that's the formula. That's the formula.
Hey, John,
for being on time.
I'm gonna have to. Sarah, I know you're watching this. This is John Schmitz talking.
It's not. I was gonna say, is your wife in the room with you? Is this what's happening?
I'm not talking right now. John is talking. She's somewhere.
You did such a good job, Phil. I spoke at the end there.
I guarantee
you don't want to hear my theory on marital sex and
No.
chickens.
No.
You don't want to hear chicken eggs. You don't want to hear that. We'll save that.
Hey man,
for another
I am
time.
a candidate right now, and I'm getting shot down every chance this guy gets. So please, let's not talk about sex and chickens right now.
It was already clipped. It's already been clipped, Richard. Like, that's all. Yeah.
It's good. All right. On that note,
An
Richard,
AI commercial.
Yeah.
you are truly, I can see it in your eyes. You are truly working hard. You go get some rest.
Oh yeah. All right.
Thanks for coming
you guys
on.
Have a good one.
Oh, man.
Yes.
All right, Brad. It's we can have some fun doing this, and I know you're probably dying to hear my theory about marital sex and chicken eggs.
And chicken eggs.
Someday maybe. Okay, so I hate to say we saved the best for last, but I don't know if we did save the best for last, but we definitely have saved some hot, controversial stuff that's going on with our next contestant. This is like the dating game. Remember that show, The Dating Game, with Wink Martindale or whatever? I don't know what his name was.
Mine was Singled Out on MTV.
Singled Out. Okay,
that was my generation.
Is that MTV? Is that MTV?
Yeah, because we had Jenny McCarthy and then Carmen Electra.
Yeah. So, well, I'm
both
showing
very
my
influential in my puberty.
Showing
phase.
my boomer stuff there. I think even like Steve Martin was on that back in the day. So that's how.
As a contestant?
Oh yeah, as a contestant. I guess you can pull up some clips from it. So our next guest, she's been a guest on our show before. So we're going to go ahead and bring on Catherine. And I hate to say it, but it looks like Lucy got tied up. But I mean,
she messaged us and she said she wasn't feeling well.
Okay. Well, this speed round would not help anyone that's not feeling well. So let's bring on Catherine. No. Catherine Callahan, Dr. Catherine Callahan. How are you this evening?
Listen, Lucy could have called me. I could have made her better.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
now that's debatable over here in Madison County right now because everybody seems to have an issue with my title, but
Yeah, well, there's a lot of issues growing around there. And Lucy's working on my potion, Brad. I Venmoed her the $100 to get her started on my memory elixir. So I should have that in a couple.
Well, it's funny. So last night at the trivia thing, I called two women at a table. I'm like, well, I expected nothing more than, or nothing less than from a table of witches. And they both looked at me and I'm like, I meant that and they're like, oh no, we know how you meant it. Thank you. And I'm like, yeah, witches are awesome. That's
okay.
You guys are all brewing potions.
So let me address this real quick here on the bottom here. Is she a real doctor or not? Well, I'm a doctor of nursing practice. I do a fair amount of things. I mean, I can prescribe you some amoxicillin or I can prescribe you some morphine. But let's talk about that for just a second. A doctor of veterinary medicine, are they a real doctor or not? Are they entitled to that same designation? So it depends on how you look at your providers. I know there's a lot of nurse practitioners out there who really give out some great care. And, so it depends on what you want to do. But yes, I have earned my doctorates, but I'm not a medical doctor.
All right.
You have more credentials than our Secretary of Health, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I just want to at least throw that out there.
Right. So
RFK
if I had
got
to write
nothing, right?
If I had to write my initials out, it'd be DNP, FNP-BC, CNS, RN. I mean, I could, MSN, BSN. I could go on and on and on.
So,
and then MDI,
this is a conservative show. You can't be tossing vowels and letters out there like that.
Yeah,
LGB
we can't even count
MSR and
So this is how you settle
the MD does trump all those initials.
Yeah, this is how you settle it. This is how you settle it. I don't know if anyone's ever gone and read Jill Biden's dissertation for her doctorate in education. Now they called her doctorate.
Absolutely.
You can Google it. It's public. I mean, I think she's got it publicized. It is less than a high school book report. Brad, you would be amazed at her dissertation for a doctorate in education at the school of Vinnie Boombots or wherever she went.
Dr. Vinnie Boombots.
Yeah, I'll tell you it's tough. Me and me will tell you it's tough. So, if you got a doctorate, you earn it. I have a master's degree. I thought about getting a doctorate just so I could call myself doctor. But, and of course we got Dr. Seuss. I mean,
I just don't understand, especially in this. I mean, it's a primary for the Indiana Senate, and so I mean, I don't you weren't lying. That is your title.
And I have my initials clearly by law stated on my anything that I've handed out if I use the name doctor, right? But let me ask the people, do you honestly think my opponent can argue affordable health care and prescription coverage better than me? Because I can tell you, I can get down and dirty with how bad they are ripping us off. It's craziness. So, my question is, what qualifies him to speak on affordable health care? I mean, not that I'm putting down a bachelor's degree, but since a CPA, I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. And then I escalated that, right? I mean, here's another thing. Gaskell says he believes in school choice. Well, what does he really know about school choice? Right? And if he wants to put it in here because he's included all of his children in this nepotism of what he does, let me show you what my children are. They speak 3 languages. They've been to the best schools. They've studied across the country. So if he wants to really go down this path, we can certainly go down it, because the true person who can speak on school choice is me. My kids went to parochial and they went to public schools. They know the value of both educations. However, on school choice, if people want school choice, you can only use your voucher to stay in the public schools. Your voucher cannot be used in the private sector, right? That is a choice. We in America offer your children an education. You need to invest in your children in the public education, just as the private sector. But when it comes to that, you can only use vouchers in public schools. That is how I feel about that. But
that makes sense. But I would say that if I was somebody sending my kid to Ron Colley for $18,000 a year or whatever, I could sure use that voucher. But I agree, public funds would go to public.
What's a choice?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and John, that better not be what people are using this for, are they? They're not, right?
Oh, I don't know what they're.
Well, yeah,
my kids are long gone. I'm just trying to worry about.
People are using them, and the public schools are really getting into some difficult positions because they can't, they have enough kids, enough volume, and so they're not able to do that. 4 years ago.
Oh, I'm just going to ask this again. You guys are answering like non-Republicans, and I really appreciate this. But
I've always been your favorite person, Brad.
Yes, this has been. I love this episode. This has been awesome.
All right, Brad.
No, go on with that. Go on with that. About yeah.
Well, public schools, 4 or 5 years ago were 98,000, right, to buy a brand new bus. Now it's like 132 or 140 some thousand, right? Look at the utilities that even we're not the only ones getting clobbered with the utility bills. Even the school systems are, but you're not giving them more money. I mean, that's the whole thing is, and then you're giving these vouchers and they can't even budget. And then we just have our priorities really screwed up on where our money should be going. And when you look at my opponent again, and this isn't just for my opponent, this is for everybody to understand. You need to pull their financials. If people are getting their campaigns funded by lobbyists and data centers and attorneys that's all they do are these data centers, who are they really working for? If they're not being funded, if they're not being funded by their local constituents who vote for them, we got a big problem. It's very lopsided here.
Well, I don't think
they're never going to answer to you.
The constituents. He didn't. He has never. He follows his own little Pied Piper or whatever. It's not what the voters.
So full disclosure here, Brad. Now is this your voting district? Is this?
Yes, it is. I do not like Senator. Well,
he really needs to pull red. You just need to come to the other side. Pull purple right now.
But there is a Democrat running, though. Correct that, Brad?
Yeah,
and it's contested. So. Mm-hmm. Shelton and Dixon.
Oh yeah,
that's who. Shelton and Dixon.
Okay, Brad, answer your question. Add your question. We're down this rabbit hole.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Went out with talking to voters and stuff. Outside of how horrible Mike Gaskell is, what issue do you hear about the most?
Well, property taxes in Madison County are like crazy. And, I had thank you to Sean Smith And I will also say Laureen White, as both of them helped me understand property taxes a lot better. I was able to make a post and educate a large volume of the entire state on how you can file to appeal your property taxes. And people didn't know that it's a simple piece of paper. And then the burden of proof is on your assessor to deal with that and show you where it's not. So, you know, I appreciate the people who've been out there, who've been in the community, who say, hey, Catherine, you're a great voice for us. Have you looked at this? So a lot of people did appeal their property taxes in Madison County. If you are listening from Madison County, you still have time to appeal your property taxes from last year. Why? Because they didn't meet the deadline on getting it out on time.
Oh,
so you still can go ahead and appeal that. You have. So I would do it. If there's more than a 5% change, do it unless you've done some increase, right? And so I am against legalized theft. I am against it. I call it legalized theft. You can call it whatever you want, right?
It's double
But look at-
taxation. It is.
Yeah, I mean,
just take your house. I mean, bottom
yeah,
line.
I mean, look at Article 1, Section 22 of the Indiana Constitution, where it makes it clear government should protect a person's ability to maintain the necessities of life, including their homes. It's in our Constitution. But who's talking about it?
Well, and so how?
Well, they're talking about it, but who's doing anything about it?
Yeah, would you bring
Right
that
there.
up? Would you bring that up?
Listen, do you think I wouldn't push back? Listen, none of those
Have you not
senators
followed
are a match for
Catherine?
me. None of
Catherine,
them.
I did
I
not
will
mean
so bring that up.
to. I did not mean to accuse you of not bringing that up.
Let's just talk about the elephant in the room or the donkey. I don't care.
Let's talk about. So you basically have talked about the solutions of that. So what?
Right, and you know, my opponent, he refused to support Braun's initial property tax reform, which actually was pretty good. And now we've got a nightmare of a property tax reform, right? So what I would say is this: our taxes should never go higher than the price we paid for our home.
That's Florida's
But
rule until you
once
sell it.
you pay off your home, you shouldn't have to pay property taxes anymore at all. Some people who have paid off their homes are paying more like what their mortgage was monthly when they had a mortgage on the home. That's nuts. These people did not budget for that.
It is
It's craziness.
The
And how
state
Richard
is
brought
our
up
is our bank.
Yeah, Richard brought up how with his grandma, like in her house. That's nuts.
Yeah. So, Gaskell was in charge of the redistricting. Am I correct?
You mean was the failure?
Well,
he
he
was
was
a big
just in
pusher
charge
of it.
of it, and I think honestly,
He was in charge of it.
Yeah,
And think
he
about
did a
what
very
you just
good
said.
job. He did a very good job at it.
Really?
As far
Because
as
if he did a
operate
really-
as running it.
But if he did a really good job, he wouldn't have lost the vote 31-19.
No, I'm
Listen,
about procedure.
I guarantee you, if you send me,
okay.
if you send me to complete the mission, it doesn't matter what the mission is. We're going to get it complete.
Well, but that
So-
There might be a few body bags involved.
You wouldn't have signed up for that. You wouldn't have
well,
fallen into
and
that
here's the
part.
thing. Because I'm not a moron. Why would I apply for something that's going to fail? I mean, if you want to put yourself in that position and be a failure, because here's the thing: anybody who watches Trump, if Gaskell failed, he would have fired him. He would have said, "You fail. Listen." He's an insurance salesman. He should have been able to sell this.
But that's it. But Trump is going after all the people who were opposite.
Yeah,
of him.
and what he should be doing is firing Gaskell because he couldn't get it completed.
Well, and I do think we're going to talk about that because
That's how I look at it.
I think both ideas. I mean, I think he's ridiculous for.
So I'm going to ask you a
wouldn't
question,
either.
another question before we get to the fun fact that nobody knows about you. Do you think the Trump endorsement is worth anything as far as, or is it a help or it could be a hurt? And obviously I don't think either one of you have a Trump endorsement, but I know that
Liz Brown does.
Liz Brown has one. Richard Bagsby's opponent has one. Sarah's opponent has one. So what's your opinion on that? I'll give you mine first, just so you'll feel like I'm not just like asking questions and I think it might even harm. But they could have done this a different way if they would say, okay, we're going after the rhinos in Indiana. We want to get rid of Rod Bray as the speaker. We want to bring it back to conservative values. Instead of this redistricting thing, which I think a lot of people, including myself, was not terribly for it. I was a little excited because I thought we'd get rid of Andre Carson because I'm a little selfish that way. But for the most part, hey, redistrict this thing in 30 when you're
You guys
supposed to
were
redistrict.
so selfish. You and Whitty and everyone else who lived in Marion
Well,
County.
you don't
We're
live
just
here,
all-
buddy.
I know. You guys were all on board with it.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that was the only reason I was being selfish for that, because, you know, I live in Mars Hill, West Side, Indianapolis. I would have been, my district would have gone to the Ohio River. So it was going to get interesting for sure. Although I like the Ohio River.
But Catherine, I have to send you a clip of, because I recorded Gaskell's floor speech from the redistricting, and he went on like the worst, just most embarrassing little tirade rant about how, you know, President Trump has sacrificed so much for us and we need to get this done for him. Democrats are playing for keeps, and how Trump almost lost his life and Charlie Kirk did, so we need to get this through. And it was the most impassioned speech that I'd seen a human make in a while, all for Trump redistricting. And it was just, as soon as he was done, everybody voted, and they lost within like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was there.
Hilarious to watch.
And like I said, I think he did an excellent job with procedure of the meeting. I mean, he let everybody talk. I think he did a great job on that. But as far as getting it done, I don't think he was the main driver behind that. I think
they didn't sell it at all. Like,
they didn't
no
sell it.
sense.
They didn't. They just did an awful job. It is weak. It was weak. It was misguided. It was just bad. Like I said, I was there the whole week. It was a barrel of fun having a mouthwash pass, press pass, and being in where they making the sausage. I mean, it's totally different when you're in there with the Adam Wrens and all that. Oh, it's fun.
Did you try to use your press pass during the NCAA tournament?
No, I had a ticket for that. I would.
Oh, okay. I would have used both. Probably.
I just didn't even want to go. Sorry. I hate to be Debbie Downer on the sports. But so this one, Brad, this one's for you. And Tommy Ice, he watches the show religiously. He says Brad wants Catherine to win just so she's easy to beat. So, you know.
No, Catherine, I know that.
Put him on the spot.
I hope you don't think that. I truly do not like Mike Gaskell. After watching him during the redistricting and during all that, I'm not a fan. He wasn't very helpful during the whole pornography in libraries kind of an argument. He was very much on the side of, well, you can't have porn in libraries, and we don't. He listened to a lot of librarians come and talk to him, and he still was like, well, you know, we can't have porn in libraries. I'm like, what the hell have I been saying for like? So whoever's giving him his orders, it's not.
Hey, Brad, I want to tell you this, Brad. If it wouldn't have been for this conversation about porn in libraries, me and you would have never met.
No, exactly.
Remember, that's why you know. So I don't know if this good has come out of that or bad, but it's one of those things that I think it's good. I think it's been a blessing to have met you and in such circumstances that were just totally messed up.
I mean, you know, it's all about free speech. You know, free Jimmy Kimmel. That's.
Yeah, well, my thing on that is, if you don't like the guy, don't watch it. Don't watch it. If you don't like Mouthwash, don't watch us. Don't watch us. But don't try to cancel us. We don't want to be canceled. All right, Catherine, we're going to wind it up here because Brad, we've done such a good job on time here. It's been excellent. We're just 4 minutes over.
Yeah.
So, what is one fun fact about you that folks may or may not know about you?
Okay, believe it or not.
Oh boy, I like how it starts.
I have a black belt in Taekwondo.
Oh wow! Yeah. Hey, Brad.
that is
I don't
awesome.
think they're going to be pushing her around down there at the state house.
And you know, Jim Lucas carries a gun, but I would pay
That's a fun fact.
$1,000. Exactly, but I would pay so much money just to watch you like roundhouse kick a gun out of Lucas's hand, like on the floor somehow. Like,
you never know with me, do you?
Yeah,
You just never know what's going to happen in a meeting.
Well, the element of surprise is always good to have on your side.
Hey,
so, Kat,
it looks like somebody has a question for the two of you.
Okay, let's see.
Leslie says, "Why isn't Gaskell on Scott Pressler's list of candidates?"
Oh yeah, I put that up. I don't know what and like I said, I think if they would have come at this with a different premise, I think it would have been much more successful. I did not like the, and this is Nicole said the redistricting. You know what? His redistricting speech was weird. I think it was heartfelt. I gave him a pass because I really felt like, he was being sincere with what he was saying.
Of like Massachusetts, like it was all just marching orders.
I know, but Brad, it was sincere. It was like Linus's speech in the pumpkin patch. I mean, come on.
At the end of the day, you have to learn to read a room. And you have to learn how to switch gears and be able to deliver something that's going to send the message home. He can't do that. It's just like with affordable health care. It's like with our utilities. You got to read the room. Our constituents can no longer handle this. Quit going with the party line and start going with the people. We've got to do something better than what we're doing. And this isn't working. And people who continue to recycle, and I'm going to say it, a lying senator is a problem. When they basically say, I believe in term limits 8 years ago, and we're going for our third term, everybody should be voting no. And sending a message to every elected servant, not official, servant, that when you make promises to us, we the people have the power. So since you can't keep your promises, we're going to help you with that. And we're going to vote you out. And so that's the thing that I think he failed at. He doesn't know how to read his audience or read a room.
Yeah, and how long has Senator Gaskell been in?
This will be his third term. He's already been in 8. And he said in the beginning, he believes in term limits. And yet here we are.
So we have, the primaries are probably and I think this is a product of gerrymandering for the general election. The primaries have become the elections in a lot of these cases. And
in Madison County, that is it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I think that's good. I hope it's going to start changing. I don't know, but maybe.
Well, we'll see. I think next Tuesday is going to be a very big litmus test for a lot of things. And I think it's going to come down to the quality of a candidate that is challenging an incumbent, because I definitely think there's an undercurrent of distrust, just feel like our voices are not being heard. I sense that. But I always say, unless we have something better to go to, people will not move. So,
and here's the thing. Better to go to. Listen, Gaskell will never be able to compete with me on affordable health care. He'll never be able to ever compete with me on prescription coverage, ever. And that, again, is playing into the roles. And here's the other thing. He knows how to raise insurance premiums. I'm the one who sees it on the other side, where people cannot afford their deductibles. So if you want somebody in there who can give them reality, I'm living it in my office when people just can't come to the doctors, and we need to be able to come to the doctor. So, that's the thing. You don't see Gaskell speaking out on the water issue. You don't see Gaskell coming to local meetings. You don't see him putting everything on public display. Let me ask you something, Brad. In the last 6 years, how many posts have you seen from Senator Gaskell, and how many posts have you seen from me informing the people?
Oh, Jesus.
Just on a daily basis. And
that's
right?
a
why do you want an ineffective leader who's unwilling, not unable, unwilling to share the information with the constituents so that they can be informed and make good decisions for themselves? It just doesn't make sense. At some point, we got to get off the hamster wheel. People, this Mr. Miller is asking me, what is she going to do about utilities? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through all these elected servants, and I'm going to go through all these rich people's utilities, and let's see what they're paying compared to all of us in the bottom sector. Why don't we take a peel back? You know what? As a matter of fact, why don't we put some people on these boards why don't we put them on the boards by how much money they make? And put them on there, or they have kids. Why don't we have a more diversified board?
Again, you're sure you're a Republican?
Listen,
yeah, well,
I'm so sure I'm a Republican that the 5th district put me in bad standing for talking common sense. That's why I know I am a solid Republican, because I have a badge that says she is a Republican that stands for the people.
Yeah, that's good.
She's in a class of her own.
On that note, Catherine, we always appreciate your energy. and you will be a force down at the State House. And I'm sure that you should have some allies if things go a certain way this Tuesday, that you may be able to move the needle. The days of John Jacob and Kurt Nicely will be reinvented. So
good luck, Catherine.
Well, thank you. They all are wanting you to endorse me, Brad, and it's okay because
I will endorse you in this primary, but against Mike Guest. Yeah, you have my endorsement.
There you go, everybody, and that's when you know you've won the people over. When two parties can come together and say it's about who the best candidate is and the one that has the most passion for the people. And so here we are. So Catherine can truly work with people, but she can't work with thieves. That's the difference.
All right. Well, in Lucy's memory of being on the show tonight, honor, taxation is theft. Catherine, we thank you. Good luck next Tuesday. And we'll be watching.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, Brad. I know when the cat comes on, it's time.
Yeah, he knows when people are talking to me or something. I don't know.
That's like our canary. Our canary, you get on the phone and it's all that. So Brad,
how does he know where the camera is? That's the thing that I don't get. He's like looking out the window, and
it's almost like a bat signal you got going there. It's all good. Well, hey, Brad, I think we did very well tonight. Without the ladies, we were on time. And I know that, I'm going to catch some hate mail from that. But I do want to.
It was great. Yeah.
Before we go, I want to put up.
And I was laughing because you kept saying, Brad, ask your question. And I thought you were talking about like a question within my story. The question at the bottom of the screen that I was supposed to be reading.
Well, Catherine came out hot on us. So we it got us out of whack, but we were able to reel it back in. So
when does she not come out hot? Like Catherine coming out hot. That's just, yeah.
Well, she's had she's been accused of not having credentials today. And all that. So I put the Venmo up there for us. It looks like some people have already donated. Appreciate it. There's your cash app.
Yeah.
So Brad, life will get better for us when we can stream to 8 different places and we can have a couple more people, because I think we're going to expand the show for a couple more shows. I mean,
that's awesome. Okay.
We're not the Ted Turner Network yet, or all that. But
can we find like a minor league baseball team, or maybe even like the White Sox? And we'll be like TBS, basically, where it's like every other show is one of us.
Well, we got this team called the Indianapolis Indians that I know the people that own it. I mean, we could probably get something.
We need to get to an Indians game pretty soon.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to do that.
As like a mouthwash outing, or a Chateau de Mars Hill studio outing. And just everybody.
See when we can get thrown out of the ball game. It's like, when they stand up at 7 and say, take me out to the ball game, it'll be kick us out of the ball game.
Yeah. Well,
it'll be like Caddyshack Day. It'd be great.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack Day at the ballpark. Yes, we got to do it. I've been kicked out of better places than this. So anyway, if you could donate a couple dollars, we'd appreciate it. And heck, if we do well this week, we could be upgraded next week. Oh, that'd be great. So we're going to have the election special next week. And then also, a quick note on Church Pew Review. That's catching some traction. We're getting a little traction on the Church Pew Review. I'm going to be visiting the Sikh church or temple. I don't know if it's church, temple, whatever. So I'm doing my little research on there, so I don't go in hot and act like a crazy person and all that. So I've done my research. I got to have a head cover, all that. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm going to try to do that this week. So I did 7-day Adventist last Saturday. It's just been interesting. It's been interesting going to these places. So anyway, we'll have that. And of course, we have your show on the Rinse. What's coming up on the Rinse this Sunday? Have you got to?
Me and Drew are going to be talking about Citizens United, that case, and and we're going to be talking about the Powell Memo from 1971, and just kind of how it's laid the tracks for corporations to somewhat buy their way in. We're going to talk about lobbyists, what they do, how that's even legal, and why there aren't any, lobbyists for the people.
All right. Well, and I know that you've added Drew as a co-host, and I think that's going to be a good combination.
Yeah, Drew is great. It's me arguing with somebody that disagrees with a lot of what I think.
Yeah, but if you got somebody in left field together, Drew.
Yeah, but we've been golfing together. You had us out at your high school reunion.
But we got to, Kim Gann says the cat is the star. Well, maybe the cat needs its own show. Maybe we just put a camera on your cat for like 15 minutes.
Once we
call it a show.
Once you start paying attention to him, he'll like go hide. So
yeah. Wait, this is what somebody said. Bring Rob Kendall into the Mouthwash family. Well, I don't think we're good enough for him to be on here, but hey, we're open for anything. As far as getting some stuff going. Like I said, I'm a part-time guy, so it's sort of tricky when I'm doing Witty's show. I was producing that, so I got a couple hours on Tuesday nights, which I enjoy doing. it. And I'm back to the friendly confines of the Marcel Chateau de Marcel studio, which is nice because I have the better computer here and all that. But I will get that Florida studio up to speed in no time. So, Brad, I say we had a good show tonight. We had a lot of viewers, and I think people are going to watch this later. And I think all 4 of our candidates did quite well, don't you?
I really do think so. And again, that's one of the great points about this show, I think, is that it's more about, I almost want to say independent Republicans, independent Democrats coming together to like talk about the issues plaguing both parties.
Yeah, we got to get Indiana back on track. We got to get our whole country back on track. It's so divided.
Yeah.
And that's what our show premise has been from the onset, is to, have people have a conversation. I mean, like I said, you and I,
you know who's at fault? You know who's at fault though for everything is the Democrats.
Wait, if you're saying that, then I'm going to say the Republicans. There you go. We got it switched around here. But as I say, we met under some some very contentious circuit. That Hamilton East County Library thing was a clown show of how not to do things.
And just like I always didn't care for the yelling out. It would always take away from any sort of support that we would be giving, I feel like. And it would allow the board to point it and be like, hey, well, they are disruptive, they need to leave.
They're crazy.
And that's all it does. It gives them a reason to kick you out. And then you're not even getting to watch or interact with the process. And that's
your calm demeanor got my attention way more than the yelling. So that's why I thought, wow, this guy'd be a good different voice of what's going on. So that's what we got. And I got a little new ending too. It's sort of, I've been doing some work this week. I'm like getting really fired up about our shows and that. So we're going to play the ending. Thanks to anybody that could donate a few dollars for us. And if we're upgraded next week, the campaign went well and we're good to go. So Brad, hey, thanks for coming on tonight. I want to thank all of our people. Yeah. Stick around after, because I see some people back in the back. So stick around and we'll wait for your Irish goodbye on the backstage.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, man. See you, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.